Very good afternoon, friends. I am Pragasam, working as an assistant professor in computer science department in the Institute of Engineering and Technology. Now I am going to explain about the difference between the finite automata, piston automata, and the Turing machine. Finite automata and piston automata and Turing machine is a Chomsky hierarchy of languages. So now we need to see about some of the difference between this finite automata, piston automata, and Turing machine. In finite automata, having a memory, it has a separate memory for storing the input string and has no additional memory. But in piston automata, it has a separate memory for storing input string using a stack memory, which is infinite. It uses Turing machine has a infinite tape memory for both input and output. And tape head and finite automata can only read input symbols. But in piston automata, the tape head can read the input symbol and stack pointer can read and write symbols onto the stack. But in Turing machine, tape head can both read and write symbols on the tape. Third difference, tape head can move only in forward direction in finite automata. But piston automata, tape head can move only in the forward and the stacks sometimes are accessed in leaf order because of it is used in a stack to storing the memory. During machine, tape can move in both left side and as well as right side. Input symbols can be accessed in any order. Fourth difference, it can use in finite automata, it can be used only as a language acceptor. But piston automata, it can be used only the language acceptor. But in computable devices also in Turing machine. Finite automata, the what are the automatas will be used in the transition also. In piston automata, its most known variants are deterministic piston automata and non-deterministic piston automata. In Turing machine, its most known variants are multi-tape and non-deterministic Turing machine and denominator. And next difference is the generator for a finite automata is a regular grammar and the representation is regular expression. But in piston automata, the conduct-free grammar will be used. The generator for Turing machine is unrestricted grammar. And sound different. It recognizes regular languages. DPDA recognizes conduct-free languages, and NPDA, that means non-deterministic piston automata, recognize context-free languages. So, Turing machine will recognize the recursively enumerable and recursive languages. And eighth difference, finite automata halts on all input string and hence the problem is decidable or solvable. But in piston automata, halts on all input string and decidable and solvable. And in Turing machine, may halt or may not halt on all input strings and hence the problem is undecidable and unsolvable. The ninth difference, languages of DFA, NFA and NFA with epsilon transition are same. But in languages of TPDA and NPDA are not same. Languages of multi-tape non-deterministic Turing machine and the enumerators are the same. One can be simulated by other. Next difference, no special symbols are used in finite automata and piston automata. In piston automata, it uses the symbol Z0 for using the bottom of the stack and it uses the symbol B to indicate the blank symbols in Turing machines. Next difference, there is no specific design method and it is according the type. In piston automata, it can be designed either in empty stack method or final state method and both are equivalent. In Turing machine, there is no specific design method and it is according the type. Next difference, an input string is accepted only if the machine reaches final state after reading all the input symbols. In piston automata, an input string is accepted only if the machine reaches final state after reading all input symbols in that string based on final state or empty stack method. An input string is accepted if the machine reaches the accept state and it is not necessary to process the remaining input symbols in the string in the case of Turing machine. And the last difference is there is no special state on rejecting an input string. There is no special date for rejecting an input string in piston automata also, but there is a special state Q reject for rejecting an input string in Turing machines. That's all about the differences between the finite automata, piston automata, and curing machine.